Well, Facebookers and Facehookers, I got another good one for you today. Cindy Lou, as you might know, had a stroke and heart attack August last year, end of August, and she had been fighting for years and years. Her back and neck was all messed up, and she was trying to get disability, and she was denied 4 times, I think. 4 times. She had a serious issue, and it was legitimate case. Okay. Fast forward, she gets papers in the mail saying it's from lawyers, Premier Disability, and saying congratulations, you're going to get it now. You're finally going to get it. So she's tickled to death. Fills out all the paperwork, everything else, puts a stamp on the envelope. Very next day, she has a stroke. The very next day, has a stroke and heart attack. I go ahead and mail them off, the papers off. And I deal with Premier Disability through the whole thing for 5 months, and finally go to court, and she gets it. They award her a bullshit, fucking laughable back pay, and then they take a third of it that they're just going to hold on to. Social Security Agency Administration, Social Security Administration, they're going to hold on to a third of it just in case there's any fees or anything comes up that they might want to go ahead and pay for us, for her. And so they keep a third of it, and then she wins the case. Judge awards her disability. Said that she had evidence to prove that she was disabled prior to her stroke and heart attack for 3 years before that. So cool, we win the case, or win the disability. Then it's all right. Call up. Well, you'll be contacted by SSA close to you, and fill out the paperwork, and her checks will start immediately. So we take, and Medicare, or Medicaid, take care of her nursing home. She's in a long-term facility in Lincoln, Illinois, and probably looks like it will be for foreseeable future, probably for maybe the rest of her life. She still can't walk or talk. The guy calls me up, and his name is Matt, and he works at the Harrisburg office in Harrisburg, Illinois. Well, I go down there. I leave Chicago, drive straight down there, Southern Illinois. It's a 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive, something like that. I get there, do the interview. I'm wore out. He asked me a bunch of questions, and then about her bank account, and I said, man, she probably ain't had more than $1,000 in her bank account. At the end of every month, I'm usually catching up late fees for her. Well, I go down to the bank. I get a bank account in both our names, and I was awarded payee for her. Go down there, get the bank account. They said, well, you need the payee slip. I go back there to the SSA office, get the payee slip, take it back to the bank. And this whole time, this guy's having me do this, he has already filed denial on her disability and her Medicaid and her payment and everything. And the judge already awarded it. And he's still having me jump through these hoops. This bank shit and everything. Well, I get the bank account. Then I go back. And I said, well, you guys are going to be closed by the time I get back to the bank and get the routing number and account number for you. He says, just call it in and give it to one of the girls, and I'll make sure I get it. They'll make sure I get it, and I'll take care of it. Okay, great, cool. So I do that. I do that. Then about that was like on a Tuesday. That was on a Tuesday, and then he that was on Tuesday. I called back Friday. I said, "Hey, nothing's came yet. What's going on with that?" And she said, "Well, there's something wrong. We'll try to get it figured out and call us Monday." So I called it Monday, and then she said, "Well, you ain't got the right. They ain't got the right bank in here or something. He didn't put the right bank in." I said, "I called up the numbers. I did right, exactly what he said." Then she says, "Well, you can't call in them numbers like that." I said, "What do you mean? That's what he told me to do." "Well, I don't know why he told you that." "Well, maybe he's working his magic, quote unquote, magic on it." I'm like, "What the fuck's going on here?" She said, "Can you bring it up here?" I said, "Absolutely." I run it up there. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I was there. I give her the bank account information, the bank, and our names. She goes, "I don't know why it ain't let me put this in the computer, but," she goes, "I'll have to have him figure it out, or we'll see. Give us a call Friday if you haven't received nothing then." Friday comes. This was like this last Friday. And it was a Friday, yeah, Friday before last. And I called up there that morning, and I said, "Hey, I need to talk to somebody about my lady's, you know, her SSA. What's going on with that?" So "We haven't received nothing, and she's in a nursing home." I said, "They're going to want their money here soon." And the guy said, "Well, who was your old lady?" I gave her social security number. And he, "Hold on a second, let me put you on hold for a second." He gets off the phone. He's gone about 5 minutes, 10 minutes or something, and then comes back on. He says, "Who are you?" And then I gave him my name. He said, "Well, hold on, let me put you on hold for a second." He puts the phone down and doesn't hit mute. He doesn't hit mute, and I can hear everything that they're saying. Him, the gal that helped me the second time, and then this. Yeah, whenever he filled out her paperwork and denied her, whenever he denied her, he said that she had $10,000 in her bank account in June of 2023, which she fabricated. I'm looking at her bank statements right now. It was a lie. He knows it was a lie. They got caught in a lie, and still nothing's being done about it. More jump through more hoops. And at the same time, she's suffering. She's the one ultimately paying for this, you know. But you know, they've ticked me off several times. These hospitals have really pissed me off by doing nothing to help her in her situation. I've had to point. She had a UTI for 4 months almost, probably, and they did nothing about it. Did nothing in Chicago about it to help her, and she was in pain. I mean, and her hair was braided and it was matted so bad that the rubber bands were growing into her scalp, and they were doing nothing about it. Nothing. I had to have her emergency moved to Lincoln, Illinois, and that took me a month and $4,000 for an ambulance that they eventually ended up picking up the bill in Chicago after I threatened them. You know, that's how bad it was. And now, after going through all this shit and all the pain she's been through and heartache and fucking everything else, and then this guy fabricates her bank account numbers to get her denied and to stop her back pay and her checks from coming and cancel her Medicaid. Comes back on the phone. "Let me put you on hold." And then hits the button and it don't mute. All I can hear is Matt saying, "Oh, that's the boyfriend." Well, he called up here and was kind of an asshole because the routing numbers and stuff, and I made him go down to the bank. And the guy says, well, what do you want me to do about it? He goes, man, I don't want him to be payee anyway. I'd rather see just her be her payee by herself. And I'm like, listen to this saying. She's a step away from invalid. She can't walk, she can't talk, she has no motor skills, you know. But I can't believe what I'm hearing. Then he says, I'd rather have her be payee by herself. I don't want to see him be payee. He's an asshole. Well, maybe I am, but that's besides the point. Unbiased, this guy denied her claim, put a hold on her checks, and stopped her Medicaid for nothing more than bias. How is this happening? How many people have they done this to? How many people are they doing this to all over the country? You know? Oh, what? He might be a Trumper or whatever. That's how bad it is. You walk in, they look at you, and then they think you're politics, or they think you're this or that. She's the one suffering in a fucking nursing home right now because this asshole has got bias. And that's bullshit. I've called every agency. I've called everybody I can. I think we ought to get a shit ton of people to start calling down there and talk to Matt down there at the SSA office in Harrisburg and just ask him what he thinks about this situation. I'm super pissed. This is bullshit. I had turned to social media to try to get some kind of, I don't know, something. Because I ain't getting nothing through these agencies, that's for damn sure. But more paperwork, more paperwork, more paperwork. You know, how did she get awarded this shit? Finally, after all these years fighting, finally fucking gets it. And then, you know, the rug gets pulled out from under her. You know, and I'm fighting and fighting. I mean, I am tired. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of all this bullshit, these paperwork and these fucking, these punk ass kids thinking they can play God over somebody's fucking lives that they know nothing about. They don't know real people when they walk in there. But yeah, he says that on the phone. I can hear the whole conversation. And then the guy goes to pick back up the phone and he realizes that he didn't mute the call. He realizes he didn't mute the call. He gets back on there and I can hear him. I said, sir, what's your name? He said, I don't give out my name. I don't give out my name. I said, sir, I heard the whole conversation you guys just had. Please give me your name. He said, I'll give this Chelsea. Click. Hangs up on me. Hangs up on me. After I heard the whole fucking thing. That's how fucked up this is. And how many people have they done that to before? Who knows? You know, how many people are they doing that to all the way across this country? Because nobody is held accountable for shit. That's the problem. Nope. These guys, cops, beat me up 5 days before in Hartford, Illinois. Beat the shit out of me. Tased me 3 times with pistol tasers while I was still in my vehicle. I'm a 55-year-old grandpa of 1. I was giving somebody a ride to work that morning. I just bought the truck. What the fuck? I had to have emergency detached retinal surgery. As soon as she comes down there, bring me money to get the truck out of impound. Very next day, she has a fucking stroke and heart attack over all this shit. And now I got to go through this with them. She was abused, neglected in a medical facility in Chicago. They almost killed her. I had to have her emergency moved to Lincoln, and she just barely made it. She was 50 pounds lost 50 pounds. She couldn't use her left side of her body. Her right side was gone, but then now she almost can't even, she moved 2 fingers on her fucking left hand because they fucked her up so bad in Chicago. Almost killed her. And this all started because, good old Hartford PD, routine traffic stop, middle of the afternoon, sunny day, 11 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm going down Route 3 on my way to fucking Granite to see my mom and go to the DMV. This happened, and then she would have never been there, never had to bring me money, none of this shit. But 6 fucking overzealous cops, and I think there were 7 on the scene, for a license plate they said it was an illegal license plate. I had a vanity plate on there because I just bought the fucking truck. They didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to hear nothing. But, this is what happens. And then now nothing can be done about it. Nobody's held accountable. Even if I sued the fuck out of the Hartford PD, take everything they got, it don't matter. These 6 guys are going to go free because they're being protected by the badge. And now she's in a fucking hospital, can't walk or talk, and may never walk or talk again. And I'm sitting here having to deal with it. Good old USA. People better wise the fuck up, because you're losing your rights left and right, and nobody's doing nothing fucking about it. And it's fucking sad. It's sad to see that you think the state owes you fucking everything. They don't know you. You got the right to fucking travel. You got the right to do what you want, to have business as you want, and nobody's standing up for it. And it's sad. It's sad to see it all go, because it's going later. The only thing I'm asking the fucking state for is what's owed to her and what's owed to us. Nothing more. I think she deserves it. Now they're going to turn their back on her whenever she needs it the most. I mean, literally needs it the most. Now they're going to turn her back on her, deny her, hold her up in paperwork. My God, because seems like whenever the state wants their money, they're at your door, fucking beating on it, taking your vehicles, taking your home, taking a good old IRS is. And I'll tell you why that is. Whenever you register your vehicle or you get a bank loan to buy a home, you don't own your home. You don't own your vehicle then. The state does. And the bank does. Whenever you sign up and just get a bank account, just sign it, right then and there, you relinquish your rights to your holdings and your property, personal property, everything. You relinquish your rights because you have deemed yourself unfit to take care of your financial needs yourself. You're letting the state do it for you. Now the state owns everything. That's why you have the right to travel and not register a vehicle, so the state can't take it. You paid for it, it's yours, right? Now if you got a bank loan for it, the state owns it. When people get wise to that shit, it ain't sovereignty, it ain't being a sovereign citizen. There's nothing to do with the right to travel. But this is a travesty that's happening to Cindy Lou, and I think people should know about it, know what's happening.